Angela has a normal resting pulse of 70 beats per minute. However, Angela just started a new job and is kind of feeling overwhelmed by all the new tasks. This week, her resting pulse is around 74 beats per minute because of the new stress. Should Angela be worried about her health? To answer this question, let's create a number line. First, let's write the numbers 0 to 100 on this number line in increments of 10. So go ahead and write that number line. And then we'll start writing the numbers. Now, we're going to circle the 70 to represent her normal resting pulse. Next, we're going to identify Angela's new resting pulse on the number line by placing a dot where 74 would be. By looking at the number line, it shows that Angela is very close to her normal resting pulse. In fact, healthcare professionals would probably use a process called rounding to determine that Angela is so close to her normal resting pulse that she's just fine. Additionally, Angela just started a new job and has caused temporary stress. Her stress will probably lower as she becomes used to her job, and her pulse will also go down. Before we move any further, let's talk about some basics though. First, there's this thing called whole numbers. These are numbers that are counting numbers. They start at 0 and continue on. So you go 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. When a healthcare professional obtains a pulse, he or she is using a whole number. For example, in the question with Angela, the numbers 70 and 74 are whole numbers. Next, we're going to look at place values for numbers. For this, let's start with the ones place. First, let me actually write a number so we can see this. The ones place is where the 7 is at. Then we're going to move to the left, which is the tens place, the 6. As we continue moving on to the left, we have the hundreds place. Then we have this comma. This comma is what represents a name change. So now we're in the thousands place, which is where the 4 is. Then we have 10,000, and then 100,000. And now we have another comma. This represents another name change, which is now the millions, which is the 1. And then we can continue on to the 10 millions, the 100 millions, and then billions. As you can see, there is a pattern to help us remember. Now, when we look at rounding, we're going to be looking at the next digit to it to see if we round up or down. So, we are going to round up if it's between 5 to 9. And we are going to round down if it's between 0 to 4. So we'll keep this to the right just to know what we're doing. So example 2, we're rounding 6,559,357 to the nearest 1,000. So let's kind of look at our number and kind of count along. So we're going to go from the ones, the tens, the hundreds to the thousands. We're going to underline that 9 to show that that's the 1,000. And then we're going to actually circle the 3 because that's the number we're looking at to see if we round up or if we round down. But because 3 is between 0 to 4, we are going to round down. So we have 6,559,000 as our final answer. So what we did was we changed any digit after what was rounded to 0. This is always the case for any number that after the digit rounded, you change it to zeros. So let's look at another example. This is the same number, but now we're rounding to the nearest 100,000. So again, we go from ones, tens, the hundreds, 1,000, 10,000, now 100,000. We're going to underline that 5 to represent the 100,000th place. And we're going to look at the other 5 to determine if we round up or down. Again, if it's between 0 to 4, we round down. 5 to 9, we round up. So, because that 5 is between that 5 to 9 range, we're going to round up. So we have 6,600,000 as our final answer. So what we did here was we changed the 5 to a 6 as we round it up, and change all the numbers after to zeros. So to review, remember 5 to 9, we round up, and with 0 to 4, we round down. Now let's kind of go back to another example, but with our pulse scenario. So example 4, a healthcare professional takes Bernard's pulse and discovers that it's 44 beats per minute. Since a heart rate of 40 beats per minute or lower could be a sign of a serious heart issue, use rounding to the tens place to determine if the healthcare professional should be concerned. So we can write out 44. We are going to underline that tens place and then circle the other 4, which is in the ones place, to see if we round up or down. But because the 4 is between 0 to 4 in that range, we are rounding down. So 44 is now going to become 40. So this is our final answer. So the healthcare professional should be concerned and should closely monitor Bernard, because that could be a sign of a serious heart issue.